Rosann, we've known each other for 3 decades.
Yes, a long time.
And you have been a professional counselor.
As you have been a professional counselor, how many people have we known in Hong Kong?
Yes, quite a lot.
So many different people.
And so many changes.
And that's why we want to think about women now and women then, and how women have changed over these years.
That must be very interesting.
Yes.
And it covered different generations.
Always.
Well, if they're interested in what we are talking about, how are they going to find us?
They're going to find us Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, PsychoAlchemy. We are women now and then.
See you there. Oh, well, we just now find out money is more than just cash, just dollar. It's relationship building. And that's something we are going to talk about. Rosann, I was such a surprise when you said all your tradition, your mom's tradition is so much like the Chinese tradition. And women gather together, save money in order to support each other. So what are the purpose of those money other than market money? Why do they need extra money then?
Well, one example that stands out in my mind is that women of childbearing age sometimes found themselves pregnant and they just knew they could not have another baby. Now, abortion was illegal, couldn't happen. Where could you do it reliably? The woman might not tell her husband or her sisters or her mother. Too much shame connected.
Yes.
But there might be 5 women who pool their money, and she says to her friends, I can't have this baby. And they say to her, use that money for that. Because they know how threatening it might be.
Wow.
If she has that child, or if her husband or her mother knew about it. So we have layers of secrecy and trust connected with the use of money. Yes.
Yeah, I think women secretly put aside money. Apart from your story is very interesting. I can see there must be a lot of support because of that. And another common use of this money from a Chinese family is to help their children.
Oh, of
right.
course.
You can imagine
Of course.
at that time, a lot of women might not be able to get educated. So when they have children, maybe the father is still very discriminating, thinking I will only support the son but not the daughter. And occasionally you will see those mother will say, okay, look, daughter, actually you are smarter than the son. And I don't see why you are not being given this opportunity to study, right? So mom will secretly give you the money, at least buy you the ticket or maybe the first payment of your tuition. But then after that, you have to work on your own and support yourself. But you can imagine this kind of support from the mother with her saving is so precious. How do I say? So precious, so right? Precious. You can imagine the daughter with that money, all the blessing behind it, right? And I remember once there's a Chinese woman told me, and she's from China. Actually, when her mom gave her the money so that she can leave the countryside to go to the city, the money was so old. They had been kept for such a long time, and she used 2 handkerchiefs to wrap them. And so when the daughter opened it up and sort of opened up, it's all dirt and maybe some worms, and she felt such a blessing, and she just tell herself, I must make it. I don't want to disappoint my mom. And even though my mom secretly give me money to go to the city, she knows that once her father noticed that the daughter is gone, obviously someone is support, her mom is going to suffer. Of course. Right? So you can see money is something that will make the woman change her life completely. Absolutely. Right? And there's a lot of secret behind it. Out of love, out of support, out of shame. There's so many things.
And sometimes the mother might have a sister or an aunt who didn't have children or whose children grew up, and the mother will just, the auntie will just say,
Yes.
This is for your daughter. She
Yeah.
has to go to school.
Yeah.
I never had the chance
Yes.
to go
yes.
to school.
Yes.
I'm too old. My life is too here. But she has the chance. So a collective of women, again, one auntie, another auntie.
Yes.
This girl's going to have a chance to leave that village, leave that town, or go to a better school. Maybe she could go to a state school or community school.
Yes.
But then 3 aunties and the mother say, no, you're going to a better school.
Yes.
What does that do
And
to
chip
the girl?
in the money, right?
Chip in the money.
Yeah.
Chip in the money.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I remember Mom told me when she finally finished her secondary school, not exactly finished, maybe halfway, she has to go out to work. And when she first got her salary, you know what she did? She told herself, I must save up the money, so maybe in 6 months' time, I can go out to the jewelry shop and buy my first little piece of gold. You can imagine at
Yes,
that
yes,
time,
yes, yes,
the
yes.
little piece of gold is so precious.
Absolutely.
And I remember when I was in my 30s, and once my mom took her to her safety box, and she opened up it, to show me, this is it. And I saw these little pieces of gold, and she said, well, these little pieces of gold add up to be quite a lot, right?
And that's
and to her it's so important. It's like a symbol of her effort, in
course.
saving and supporting the family. And another thing about Chinese, when you get married,
Yes.
your parents will give you gold as is a dowry, right?
Yes.
And sometimes if your family is not rich enough, you have to save money to buy some of these gold bracelet in
yes.
order to earn your respect in the man's house, right?
Yes.
And all these to women is not exactly money, but it's very important.
Yes.
It's not like we want to pass this jewelry to our children. All these are more like a safety net. If something happened to herself, her husband, and her children, I know a lot of Chinese women will just go to the safety box, grab all those jewelries, and
Yes.
take it to a jewelry shop.
You want
and
cash.
You want cash.
When
Right.
you need it.
Yes.
That's investment.
That's investment.
That is investment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So money and women can change to different format.
Change to different format, and as women grow older and they have the gold in the safe deposit box or they have diamond earrings, they can see, maybe I'm not going to need this money, so take those diamond earrings and give them to a younger woman or a woman who wants to go back to school.
Yes.
So we pass around jewelry as if it is money. But because it's personally ours,
Yes.
it carries much more emotional value
Yes.
than getting a loan from a bank or your Uncle Joe gave you this money.
Yeah.
Uncle Joe's very rich. It doesn't matter to him whether you give $1,000 or $10,000. But your auntie's diamond earrings, that's something she's had for 50 years.
Yes.
Now she wants to give it to you.
Yeah.
Means
Sentimental value.
Means so
You know,
much.
when we talk about the young people today are not very keen on saving, one thing I have noticed in the past maybe 15, 20 years, a lot of young women, when they came to see me, they may break up with their boyfriend, or maybe they have some relationship issue, and they always say something like that, oh, I'm smarter now. I used to be so romantic. I have my high school sweetheart, and then I met someone in my university thinking we are going to work hard and struggle. No, now the relationship is over. I'm going to marry rich. Thinking,
And she thinks she's going to do that.
if I do not make enough money, make sure I marry someone that is rich, then money will keep on coming in, and that's quite different, right? And when we were
Quite
young,
different.
our parents never teach us to marry rich in order to have a good life. I don't know about you. Maybe some
I
parents.
think it was discussed.
yeah.
I think it was discussed
Really?
because there were a few people that my mother wanted me to marry that I did not marry.
And they're rich.
And she said, you can learn to love him later. So it's different at different times
Different
in
family
people's
education.
lives. Different times. But there is this, let's do the traditional dream
yeah.
and the today dream. Traditional dream, it was not uncommon for saving some jewelry, but also, tell me if they have this in Chinese culture, something called a hope chest.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was a chest that one put at the end of the girl's bed. So it was made out of wood, might be camphor lined, and over her teenage years, she would get pillowcases, sheets, towels.
Wow.
So it would be dry goods, linen goods,
Yeah.
that were not to be used now. It was for her marriage.
Really? Oh, we don't have
So
that.
this is a hope chest, a chest specifically designed and sold, marketed as, this is what you give girls when they're 12 or 14 or 15. You get your hope chest.
Yes.
And then your relatives begin to fill in
Ooh,
the hope chest.
you should have that tradition.
So when you get married to Mr. Wonderful, the man of your dreams, you bring all of these beautiful linens.
Okay.
Now, some of the linens were crocheted on the end. So there was some lace patterns.
Yes, yes.
Hand done by, again, an auntie, a grandma, a neighbor who we want her to have something nice for her home.
Yes.
We don't have cash to buy her, but we can make it with threads.
Wow.
So that's, again, family support. Now you contrast that with our lovely ladies of 22, 32. They know they can get equal education.
Yes.
They know they're going to get a job. So why would they want some cloth that somebody else picked out? Why would they want
They
that?
will not appreciate that.
Would not appreciate it at all. Not appreciate it at all.
Well, I think for the last 15, 20 years or even more, when people get married, they just give you a list, which department store they have registered, and you go there and pick something. And it's like,
Quite commercial.
yeah,
isn't it?
very commercial.
Now, can a girl fall in love with a rich guy as easily as she can fall in love with a poor, struggling fellow? The answer to that is yes, she could, because falling in love is an attitude. It happens. You can only say that, by the way, when you're over 50. You got to get through the whole romantic, Prince Charming, he's going to sweep me off my feet. Maybe you don't want to be swept off your feet. Maybe you just want a pair of warm slippers. Depends what you want.
I think women will gradually become more practical,
More
pragmatic.
practical.
Instead of all this romance,
Yes.
it's not going to put food on your table. But the thing is, marry for money. The danger is, I don't know about you, can be quite disappointing. If this man you are thinking of, he's like a born rich, the second, third generation rich
Yes.
guy, I'm a little bit worried. I don't know whether his family really teach him how to use his money wisely. Can be quite dangerous, because if he didn't make the money himself, it's from his grandfather or his father, he might not be so good at handling money, right?
But Dorothy, my dear,
Yeah.
it depends on what the woman wants and her stage in life. Because if she's 28, 30, 32, she might want to have a baby. So marriage means, I want to get married, I want to have a nice wedding, I want to have a baby, maybe 2 babies. How can she think of life when she's 50? She's seeing herself as a young mother,
Yes.
and she knows she cannot earn enough money to do that. So George, who has a little bit of money from his father and his grandfather, begins to look very appealing.
Yes, yes.
Now, how can we tell her when she wants so much to have a baby that George might not be the right man for the rest of her life? She might say to you, it doesn't matter.
Well,
But
true.
remember, we're dealing with women who they know they have an education, they know they can earn money, they know that other women will help get them jobs. So women are on the ascent job-wise,
Yes.
but they still have this biological calling to have a child. So I hear you that George didn't earn the money, his father didn't earn the money, the grandfather struggled to get the money.
Yeah.
But George says, oh, she's so nice looking and she wants to marry me. George, you fool! She wants you to father the children and pay for their education. How do you know what life is going to be?
Yeah.
And George says, well, I never made much money. You know, I'm living off my father's money. Exactly why she wants you, George. Exactly. Complications in new marriages. What does wealth mean? You know, what does money mean? What does wealth mean?
But if you start your relationship in the wrong foot, I'm a little bit concerned because, well, if you think you have we call it a free meal ticket in Hong Kong, we call it free meal ticket.
Yes.
The danger is, what happens if one day that ticket expires? You seem to lose all your not self-esteem. You lose your ability to make money, and especially if you marry rich, you have keep a lifestyle that is so expensive, right? I remember once there was this girl told me, she is from middle income family. She married rich, and everything she used in this new household was like a 5-star hotel thing.
Wow.
And after 10 years, she had 2 children, and something happened to the family fortune, right? And the man is just not good at this kind of sudden change of family situation, and he became so depressed, and she would need to support him. But the thing is, she cannot even go back to like a regular store to get something for her children,
because now her lifestyle is she wants the higher class stuff, the more expensive items.
And the children, ever since they were baby, they wear they want the best clothes, right? Even diapers, maybe the best diaper.
Right.
So the thing is, if your concept with money is not from you work hard in order to gain it, there will be some consequence in the future. Oh, obvious, I give you all the blessing. If he's really rich, a tycoon, he'll give you a good life all up to 120 years old, right? But somehow if something happened, women with so little sense of money can be heading disaster. And I at that time, it's so hard to re-educate a woman.
Yes, and Dorothy, because while there is that woman for whom marriage was the goal, she's got a cousin who's a sassy sister who is not so sure marriage is the goal. And she might want to have a child, maybe not, but she wants to keep working. She doesn't consider marriage the main goal in her life. She doesn't consider the relationship with one man the way that's going to make her fully happy. So at the same time in Hong Kong, we have traditional values, the want for a long-term relationship and love, and we have, don't give me that stuff. I'm going to work and make my own money, and maybe I'll get married and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll have a child and maybe I won't. Because times they are a-changing. Times they are a-changing. Yeah. Well, that's where we are for this segment, talking about money and relationships.
Yeah.
We're on to that. We'll talk more about it next segment.